One should never, under any circumstances, underestimate a woman's ability to find things out. I can personally attest to this, having, for a fair amount of time, lived in a household with my two daughters, my ex, and my ex's mom. I was outnumbered 4-1, and that didn't include when the girls had friends over. So keeping secrets was a fool's errand, but there's also another part of this that a female viewer of the Florida Marquis has brought up. Sometimes women have an intuition about things, and they have an experience that gives them the ability to see things that are right in front of us that everyone is missing. And I'm going to warn you guys, male members of the Florida Marquis, answering this is going to be a very difficult task. Because I've sat and thought about it, and there really is no answer for this. Now, we're going to showcase this in tonight's video, I guess I should say. Earlier today, I put up a video, Our History Teaches Us. The mantle of service is a duty every generation of Americans is born. And of course, I am promoting the masks over at Teespring. And oh, by the way, over $1,000 has been dedicated and donated to feeding hungry children in this country because of the sales over there, just as an FYI. But I want to read this from a viewer going by the name Amanda Altman. And it's just a simple one or two sentences, but it is so prescient. FM, Florida Marquis. You know what's really uncomfortable? A bra. We wear them out in public, not for me, but for others. Now, that by itself, some people would gloss over, but think about this for a minute. Opposed to a mask. What modern society, at least in North America, asks of over half the population, women, is something they find incredibly uncomfortable. Something they do not enjoy. Something they do that really serves no good purpose other than fulfilling something that men wanted many, 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 many years ago. A long time ago, this thing was invented by a man. And it was actually a compromise because this was just the top part of a corset. If those men had had their way, the uncomfortableness of the bra would have gone all the way down through the center part of the body and the hips and everything else. And it has caused so many health problems, and so much pain, and so much heartache and grief and resentment, that I really don't think any man in North America can right now stand up and say, yeah, but this little 3-inch mask I have to wear on my face is just as bad. Really? Really? Now, true, there are no government mandates that women do so, but there are social mandates, and they are in many ways much, much more powerful and much more pervasive, and financially draining as well. Trust me, having had 2 daughters, lots of money. And while it's been made fun of a lot, and jest has been made, and pretty much every 13 to 16-year-old boy was entirely confused back in the 80s from this scene, Jennifer Beals, it's something that a lot of women, I think, keep to themselves. The resentment of it. And it's much worse than a mask. And it has much less of a purpose than a mask. Especially these days. And I had to go round and round with a teacher or two about this concept of the off the shoulder this way, off the shoulder that way, seeing this, seeing that. But I found this picture and I thought this was amazing. And I had to look. This is not Photoshop. This is Kathy Lee. This is the epitome of I don't care. I've talked about this in Florida before, how things like this are just not so particular, not such a big deal, whereas in other places people get all so offended about it. Why? If we're the ones asking them to do it, and truly we are, this is something that has been, this idea has been pushed by men and preachers for a long time. Absolutely nothing biblical about it whatsoever. It's a Victorian era holdover from the beginning of the last century. And they've even gotten some women in on the game to shame women who don't. But here in Florida, we've kind of thrown that away. We really, really have kind of thrown that away. I've used this image before. This was one of the most particular images from this particular TV show. And all it shows is a girl who just got out of bed. What was she supposed to do? Go put on one of those ridiculous things? I mean, if there's a specific reason for it, other than just conforming to what society wants, here's the question, guys. Why should we expect it of them when you say it shouldn't be expected of me to wear a mask? How can you have one standard for them and another standard for you? Does any guy out there have a response to that? Because if you're going to say that temporary little 3-inch piece of paper that you're wearing at the grocery store or at the hardware store is such an inconvenience, do you see women, as soon as they get out of the grocery store and get in the car, just rip that thing off? Like you can a mask? No. And that's why I use this image. This is Florida. It's not so particular here. Nobody really thinks about it that much. And guys, I have bent over backwards. I really, really have, to create masks that are not only going to give you the ability to move through a crowd and not be confronted and not have your day go sideways because some shop owner says you have to do this or you have to do that. You can promote the current leader, and I know most of you support him within the sound of my voice. And you can promote him in a way that nobody foresaw. The one on the right wearing this mask under protest. Trump 2020 make liberals cry again. I think a lot of people would really enjoy wearing that mask. And the one on the left, I'm surprised it's still up, to be truthful. But in tomorrow's Patreon video, there's new information out. Brand new information. I'm sure a lot of you haven't heard about George Floyd. The transcripts have been released. And boy, oh boy, I tell you what, I'm going to call it here right now. 99.999% chance all 4 of those officers walk completely free, based on what has now been revealed in the transcripts from the officers' cameras, audio and video. 14 different designs. 14 different designs and more will be coming. I don't think any of the members of my male audience are going to be able to somehow say that, yes, it's okay for me to say that a woman should wear a bra, and that it's her duty to do that, to be modest, but I shouldn't have to wear a mask temporarily for 60 to 90 minutes when I go to the store. And all of those people say, well, in Texas, they're asking you to wear them in your home. They're not enforcing any law that way. And oh, by the way, most of the mask mandates, like here in Florida, there is no state mandate. But Publix, the grocery store, I got to wear a mask. Lowe's, Home Depot, because those are private organizations. And they can ask me to wear a mask, regardless of whether there's a state mandate or not, or a county mandate, or a city mandate, or any other mandate. So can the doctor's office. Private organizations can make whatever rules they want for you to walk through their private doors, their private enterprise doors. No government required. So, ladies, I tried to keep it somewhat toned down in this video because I know a lot of you are like, can you just not show the skin images? But I think it's important for the members of my male audience to understand what you guys go through every day, and that whining about a mask seems a little bit disingenuous given what you ladies have to deal with on a daily basis for less of a good reason than the mask. Far less of a good reason than the mask. So, I will leave it there and just let that be. Like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.